right, today we're going to be talking about Pokemon distribution, market, and investment. We're going to talk about what's happening at Pokemon distribution, what's going on with the Pokemon market, and how that's going to affect your Pokemon investments going into 2026, right after this. All right, everybody, I'm Andy with Northwoods TCG, and today we're going to take a talk about what's happening in distribution for Pokemon, what's happening in the Pokemon market, and what does that mean for your Pokemon investments going into 2022. There are a lot of things happening right now in the Pokemon TCG. I know it seems like it's been quiet, but the fact of the matter is that there's been a lot of turbulence under the backside of the Pokemon TCG. Number one factor that we have currently going on when you're running a business and have distribution is lack of product. I know we keep saying this over and over and over again. You think that that would correct itself at some point in time. We were thinking with this downturn in the market that we would be seeing more product from distribution. But unlike the previous downturn in the Pokemon TCG back in 2021, this seems to be more of a bottleneck problem and a money allocation problem than it does seem to be a product availability problem like we did see before. Now, does that mean that it's going to change? I have no idea. Currently talking to our reps here on Friday, we are not seeing any kind of changes right now with the allocations coming from our distribution. They have no scheduled incomes right now of Pokemon products except for the newest set, which is going to be Ascended Heroes coming out here at the end of the month. But that does not mean that that's going to help our current situation, nor is that going to take any relief off of Ascended Heroes if distribution is not getting a number of products to really help the demand currently in the actual Pokemon TCG. Distribution is getting dry. I think a lot of other content creators will tell you that when it comes down to distribution right now at this point in time. And distribution is also charging top dollar. So if you're asking why we are not selling product at MSRP or under MSRP like we used to do a year ago, the facts are simple. We are paying MSRP almost for these products, if not over MSRP, for some of these products, such as booster boxes on second and third waves, or if they do get extra allocations of booster boxes, we get them for well over MSRP, so thus the price is going to be well above MSRP when we sell it. We do have to make money, of course, or there's no point in doing this. That is also going to kind of trickle into the Pokemon market and what you should be expecting with your investments going into 2026. That's right, we have a new set already announced, and distribution right now is taking their orders. What our allocations will be all up in the air here in the near future. I'll be watching closely to what people like Cardinal Gaming, Danny Phantom, and PokeNE have to say about their allocations moving forward, because they're kind of bigger, especially Danny, and also talking about PokeNE. Both of them get large quantities of products, and they are very vocal about what they're getting and how much they are actually able to perform with that particular product. Mason at Carnival Gaming, of course, being an LGS gives you another perspective compared to the online part of the business, but still a good perspective to see how much allocation we're getting on the ground also. So I would suggest watching them as the year continues to move forward to see what we might be seeing from these newest sets that are being released. Now, let's take that and roll it into what's happening in the market currently. Now, in the last month, in the month of December specifically, we did see a pretty significant downturn in the Pokemon market. Is that downturn justified? Is it something that's going to continue to go down? Or is that something that's going to correct rather quickly? Well, from what I'm seeing right now at this point in time, I think we've already kind of answered that, and it's going up rather quickly. We've already seen a recovery on most of the products that have been dropped, especially from the early mega sets here. We are seeing a change and an upward movement already on those products. The drops on some of them that we saw occur have already corrected and exceeded those. And on top of it, other products are going to continue to have a chase for trying to get those products, especially with the lack of product out in the market. So when we're talking about it, you always have to maintain a certain amount of product in the market in order to have supply. If your supply in that market continues to drop or dwindle, then that is going to cause the prices to increase. That's supply and demand working at its finest. And that's exactly what we're going to see going into 2026 right now with the lack of allocations from distribution. Now, other people say that distribution is doing well when it comes down to MJ Holding. MJ Holding continues to bring out cases of Destin's Rivals and also Phantasmal Flames. They got check lane blisters on all the shelves, and they also do get a grouping of ETBs, such as Twilight Masquerade, Surging Sparks, and Phantasmal Flames. have continued to roll out into the shelf. Does that mean that they are getting a lot of product? Well, I talked to the rep that was delivering product at Walmart 2 weeks ago, and they said that they are running allocations as well. They've been simply taking the large amount of allocation they got and slowly trickling it out to all the other stores. They've kind of changed locations, so some locations that were getting a large amount of product before are now getting less, while some of the ones that were getting less before are now getting more. So they're changing where they're allocating some of the products in order to allow other areas to be able to get access to it. Number one. Number two, it also makes the scalpers change directions for where they're looking. So if they're going to the places where they were previously getting large amounts of product, they aren't going to find it there. They're going to have to change locations, and it gives a break for other individuals to be able to find that product. And that's simply why they are changing that tactic a little bit and moving the product around for how much allocations they're giving to certain areas. So just know that if you are looking for product and you haven't seen it at your Walmart or at your Target or a lot of other places in a long period of time, go back and check them now, because there might be allocations there that they have switched. The other factor is that even MJ Holding in the market side of things, we are seeing them shrink down the Pokemon section. I've seen them now shift to this week and remove 2 shelves of the Pokemon TCG and replaced it with other sets, such as MetaZoo is now on the shelf as well, along with some new sports cards and that coming out. They are taking Pokemon space for actual other TCGs and sports cards, which tells me that they are not planning on a large allocation for Ascended Heroes either. With there only coming 2 products out of Ascended Heroes and no more product coming, the market is going to get very volatile very quickly. Ascended Heroes may have a very high market value due to the fact of the availability of this set and with some of the chases inside of it, such as the Charizard Y Gold card on top of the Mega Gengar, and also that new Mega Dragonite inside of the set may be a factor for how well it's going to perform and how expensive the packs are going to be. Now, does that mean that you should give up on the set? No, I think you're going to find it in the wild. I think MJ Holding is going to get a decent amount of product, but the only reason that they're really shrinking the shelf side is because they're going to lose other products such as the Venusaur boxes, the Genghis Khan boxes. ETBs are going to become very slim, and also on top of it, they're not going to get as many cases of the sleeve blisters like they've been getting in the last few weeks. Now, that stock's going to dry up, and when that dries up, of course, the market values are going to go up. I could see actual distribution not having product causing your LGSs to increase prices because they have to have a certain amount of throughput. You're going to have to buy certain products on the secondary market, such as Destined Rivals, Journey Together, Phantasmal Flames, even ME1. All are going to have to come from the secondary market, which means you're going to be up to the prices of those, and how much they go up is going to depend on the availability from distribution. If it's not available for the shelves, such as Destined Rivals, could we see Destined Rivals go up $2-3 a pack here in the next few months? Absolutely, especially without availability. And this factor is going to continue to be an occurrence here for the near future. Last part I want to talk about is going to be your Pokemon investment. Now, this is the part that I'm really interested to see how this pans out for the first 3 months of 2026. When it comes down to your actual Pokemon investments, I think that they're going to go up. They have started to go up from where we were even a few weeks ago to today, but I think they're going to continue to go up rather well, just because of the fact that lack of product is definitely going to be an occurrence that's going to drive your Pokemon investments in that upward direction. Is that a bad thing? No, if you're in the Pokemon investment side, it is not. But if you are just a collector or a person who likes to play the Pokemon TCG, prices are going to go up again for you, which is not going to be necessarily beneficial for what you're looking for in the Pokemon TCG. So once again, investment I think is going to do well here in the next few months, especially going up into the first quarter here, possibly into the second quarter. Ascending Heroes is definitely not going to be a big factor for the actual dropping in the market due to the fact that it's drug out for the next 4 months. We are going to first get the sticker collections and the 3-pack blisters and the tech stickers. We are going to be getting ETBs, but allocations are very low on ETBs coming out in February. Then in March, we're going to get 6-pack booster bundles and also some of the collection boxes into April, where we are getting some more of the collection boxes in the end. So we're going to be having this drug out for 4 months. I think Ascended Heroes is going to be very expensive, and the price is going to be up there just like Prismatic Evolutions, possibly around that $15, $16 a pack. Do I like that? No. I think that that's very, very bad for the market, and I think it's going to be very bad overall for the actual collecting side of these particular cards. It could actually cause a little bit of price drive at first with a retraction with nobody interested in it. And that's really sucks for a good set potentially coming forward. Next up, we're going to be talking about it may have a decent release, and hopefully we get some product that's going to be perfect order. That'll be coming out here, I believe, in March. But once again, we're just putting in our orders. We have no idea what allocations are going to be and what that does and what that means for your Pokemon investment either. Is it a good time to invest in the perfect order? I don't know until we start seeing some allocation numbers. We really aren't going to be able to answer that question. Right now, I think that, once again, if you're looking at the investment side of things, I think that it's a very dangerous time to invest with it going possibly back into a boom. And we could see a correction again if Pokemon prints, especially getting out of the 30th anniversary. I don't think Pokemon's going to change much here for the next year. I think we're going to see prices stay pretty consistent until at least October. And that's going to be because of the fact that Pokemon's not going to want to change this market and continue to push products for the 30th anniversary. We have that coming up. And for investment side, I would be focusing more on that 30th anniversary stuff and going after that. And primarily because of the fact that that is going to be limited print. And once they print a certain amount of it, they're going to stop. Just like they did with Generations, just like they did with Celebrations. Everybody knows that they printed Celebrations until February and then just said, we're done. And that was it. And we didn't see any more of that product. So I'm predicting that we might see a very similar track to this particular run as well. Being the 30th anniversary, we're going to see some really good product push all the way up until probably the beginning of 2027. And then they're probably going to cut off production on that product, which also means that it has some exclusivity to it. Like we see in Celebrations, exclusivity helps with the overall price of those particular products. And I think that that's going to be a factor as well for these overall items moving forward in the next few years. So if you're looking for an investment collection piece, I think that the next set, the 30th anniversary set, is definitely going to be something to be watching. That's primarily what I'm going to be watching for here as we're going into 2026. I will keep you up to date here on the channel if I see changes in the market that make sense for you to jump into. But until then, I would just hold my money, be ready for the anniversary set, and take advantage of that versus some of these early sets being released. There's time for this market to change, time for this market to fluctuate. And if you miss, hey, there's always the next set. That's the beautiful thing about the Pokemon TCG. There's always an opportunity in the next set. So take your time. If you can buy stuff at MSRP, I don't think you'll do bad over the next couple years. But MSRP still is kind of a dangerous point for some of them. But if you can get it and you're doing small quantities, buying a couple booster boxes off Pokemon Center, buying a couple online that you can find maybe at MSRP, buying at your local LGS from MSRP, definitely not a bad plan when it comes down to that. Buying up some ETBs and things like that from Walmart and putting them away for a little bit, definitely not a bad situation either. So take advantage of that. Definitely take your time. There's plenty of time right now in the current market, but opportunities are going to be presenting themselves for the anniversary set. So personally, I would stock up money and be prepared for that. Otherwise, hopefully this is intuitive and helpful as always. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and that like button to help out the video. And as always, we hope to see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.